Today I've got a fun video for you on one of the coolest Apple home products out there, Nanoleaf lines. This was released last year and I knew it was something that I needed to add to my smart home collection. So today I'm excited to share my experience with you. I'm gonna help you pick the right configuration and show you how to get the most out of your lines with Apple Home. Are Nanoleaf lines worth the hefty price tag? Stick around. Thanks for tuning in. I'm the Lloyd, and on this channel, it's all about getting the most out of your Apple smart home. You may hear me referring to Apple Home instead of HomeKit because Apple has rebranded. Nanoleaf has their Essentials line, which includes their popular A19 light bulbs and their super bright light strip. While both of these have thread, they unfortunately won't be Matter compatible. Still, they work with Apple Home and offer great value. Then Nanoleaf has their super cool lighting products like Canvas, Elements, Shapes, and Lines, the topic for this week's video. Elements are wood-like hexagons that look great whether they're on or off. You can adjust the lighting temperature, but not the color, and they could be a great way to create some warmth in a room where you may not want to add shapes or lines, like in a living room or maybe a great room. With shapes, the options are limitless. They sell a variety of shapes, including hexagons, triangles, and even mini triangles, so all kinds of configurations, and this is such a great way to express your creativity and have some fun. I recently installed Nanoleaf's Ultra Black Shapes. These were a limited edition release, and I so hope that they become available again, because let me tell you, they are pretty sweet. Lots to talk about when it comes to shapes, so watch out for an exclusive video in the coming weeks. Today though, let's talk about Nanoleaf lines. For many people that I've talked to, this is their favorite Nanoleaf product, and having used them for a couple of months now, it's easy to see why. Lines are unique in that the lines don't actually light up. Instead, they jet out of the wall just enough to provide some beautiful diffused light back onto your wall. Each line has two color zones, which makes for some super cool lighting effects. They only come in white until recently. Now you can add skins for even more options. More on that a little later. The fun starts with the creation of your own unique and personal design. I recommend starting with the design as a first step even before you make a purchase. You do this in the Nanoleaf app, that way you know exactly how many lines you need, and planning ahead ensures that the lines will fit on your intended wall. If you don't have the Nanoleaf app, then just go download it right now or right after this video and check out the Layout Assistant. Here you can select your product and just start moving lines around to experiment with the different options, or you can use the Shuffle feature, which randomly cycles through various options depending on the number of lines that you're using. Spend some time here and play around with the different amounts of lines and see what you can come up with. You can connect up to 18 lines per power supply, so you have lots of options to choose from. Lines are sold in starter packs with 9 lines, and then you can add expansion packs, which comes with 3 additional lines. You can also purchase flex connectors if you need to bend around corners. If you want to see some examples, there's a link right on the Layout Assistant labeled Need More Inspiration to see some options that you can use. I want to thank Nanoleaf for sending me these lines to test out to share my experience and feedback with you. Nanoleaf sent me their starter pack and 1 expansion pack, so I knew I had 12 lines to work with. I shuffled through some examples, and once I found something close to what I liked, then I just moved a few pieces around until I had what I wanted. Each line is about 10 inches long, so it will take up quite a bit of space. This is where the preview option is great. You can view your design in your room, and this is a great way to make sure that everything fits as expected. The actual installation isn't difficult, but don't rush it and be as precise as you can. Also, if you have any horizontal or vertical lines, then you'll want to use a level. Once settled on your design, then lay it out on the floor or large table, and then piece by piece start sticking it to the wall. Again, take your time because I had a couple of pieces that I had to move and it did take some paint off the wall. An easy repair, but just be careful so you can get it right the first time. The adhesive is actually removable, by the way, and Nanoleaf has a video that shows how to dismount the panels without damaging your walls, a video I probably should have watched before adjusting my lines. Then add it to Apple Home through either the Home or Nanoleaf app, and then it's time to have some fun. Physical controls are nice, and while I don't use them often, I do appreciate them. Nanoleaf lines has a controller cap for things like controlling the power, dimming, and cycling through various scenes. I tend not to use on-device controllers in general, but the Nanoleaf lines in particular are challenging since the buttons are just raised from the cap, and it's not a different color. You have to get pretty close and in good light to even see what each button is. Still, it's a nice to have, and I'd rather it be a little hidden than something bold that took away from the aesthetics. Especially since you're probably going to be controlling this from your device or Siri anyway. Once set up, functionality through the Home app is pretty simple. You can turn it on, choose a color, and adjust the brightness. Turning off in HomeKit is actually useful because you can include it in your leaving home or your good night scenes, but this is one of those products where you're probably going to be using effects. Not that you have to, but it's certainly how I use mine. Don't worry, I'll show you how to use these effects in HomeKit so you can include them in your favorite scenes. But first, let's go into the Nanoleaf app and take a closer look at some of the default scenes that are available. If you see a music note, then that's a rhythm scene that will play to the music. And if you see a teardrop, probably intended to be a paint drop, that's for standard color scenes. Here are a few of the color scenes. And here are some of the music scenes.
Oh my God, you better run. Everybody run. You know you gotta run. I will wait for you to come down. I really like to reach you.
You can also create your own scene using either a single color, multiple colors but still static, or a dynamic scene. Dynamic is the most fun, so let's give that a try. Right away, you'll get a list of scenes that you can use as a starting point, and there's some really cool ones here, like the Matrix scene. This is my favorite movie, so I'm definitely going to try this scene out the next time I watch it. Or check out this Blue Jay scene that I created, perfect for game time. Another thing that's cool about Nanoleaf scenes is that if you have other Nanoleaf lights in the same room, then you can combine those together into one really cool scene. I have Nanoleaf Elements and Nanoleaf Essentials lights in here, and they look great together. These effects are all in the Nanoleaf app, but don't forget to add these to Apple Home simply by turning on Scene Sync under Settings. Now in Apple Home, you can activate these either through the Home app or by using Siri. So that's great, but if you're like me, then you want to add those effects into your existing scenes. Well, there's an easy workaround to accomplish this using either a virtual or proxy switch. Simply take an extra smart plug that you may have laying around, make sure that it's plugged in and it's set up in Apple Home, and have it activate your favorite Nanoleaf scene when turned on. Then just include that smart plug into your existing scene and have it turn on. If you have Homebridge, then you can create dummy switches there to make this even easier. I recently did a full video on this topic, which goes into a lot more detail for adding effects into Apple Home, so totally worth a view. I'll have a link in the description. To make these lines even better, this past summer Nanoleaf introduced skins, which comes in either pink, which I think looks really cool in the right room, though wasn't for me, or black, and these on the other hand look pretty awesome. It matches some other items in my basement rec room, including those limited edition Nanoleaf Ultra Black shapes that I mentioned earlier. The skins are an inexpensive upgrade. You simply just slide them over top of the white ones, and you get new connector covers as well. Popping off the original connectors and replacing with the new black ones was really easy and only took a couple of minutes. I will say there's no skin for the controller, which totally makes sense because that would mean replacing the entire power supply, but it is a little unfortunate nevertheless. I really like the white, so probably wouldn't have gone out of my way to buy these black skins, but once I tried them out, I absolutely loved them. They look great even when turned off. For some extra fun, you can even try out the screen mirroring feature that can sync with your computer by downloading the Nanoleaf desktop app. You can also do this on your TV, but it still requires a computer and it connects via either HDMI or AirPlay. So not something that I was looking to do, but feel free to give that a try if that looks interesting to you. Nanoleaf lines connect via 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. They're fast to respond, and I don't recall a single no response error that I've had since I've been using them. You may be thinking, aren't these Thread though? Unlike the Nanoleaf Essentials line, these do not communicate using Thread, though they do include a Thread border router. So if you have some Nanoleaf Essentials and you want to use Thread but you don't have a border router like a HomePod Mini or an Apple TV, then this could be useful. Also with Thread 1.3.0, Nanoleaf border routers should eventually be updated to work together with your other border routers in Apple Home. I do think it would be nice if these communicated using Thread. It would mean one less device on my Wi-Fi network, but overall it hasn't been a big deal. Like I said, it's fast and it's been very reliable. I love my Nanoleaf lines, but they aren't cheap. The starter pack of Nanoleaf lines, which gives you everything you need to get started, includes 9 lines and costs $230 Canadian. Expansion packs come in at another $90 for a 3-pack, and if you want to add skins, that's going to cost you another $30 for a pack of 9. So is it worth it? Well, they function well, they look great, and I've been impressed so far, but I can't answer that for you because specifically it depends on your budget and just how much you want them. I do think they're reasonably priced for a product like this, and it gives you some real creative freedom to make your space look fun and interesting. And this product isn't just for gamers, our entire family likes the unique lighting in our home. Even when powered off, they look great, especially the lines with those black skins. When chilling in the evening, watching a movie, or if the kids are hanging out with friends, they add some pretty inexpensive lighting without being distracting. Let me know your thoughts though. Are Nanoleaf lines worth the price? If you have Nanoleaf lines already, then make sure to share your experience using them as well. That's it for this week. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.